Hey y'all, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another live. For those of y'all who do not know me, I am a self love coach who specializes in helping people radically transform their lives through one on one coaching. The proof is my life. At the beginning of the year, I decided that I wanted to make a change and I wanted to move to a whole other country. And in 6 months, I did it because I made a plan and I executed it. So if you are interested in that type of radical change, send me an email at thepassportsis@gmail.com. I also am a travel agent as well as a travel broker. So hit me up if you're interested in anything travel related. Hi, Cha Cha. Guys, I apologize for my tardiness. I was in a really important meeting. It was supposed to be over at 6:55. It ran over. Needless to say, I'm here and we are going to get to it. So I'm just going to wait for some people to get into the room. While y'all are doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get my copy of this Kim Porter all so that you don't have to. Okay. I'm really excited about this. Let's see. Add to cart. I don't want you to deliver it. Hold on. I just want the PDF. I don't want the paperback, baby. I want the PDF. No. Now I know they don't just have this book in paperback. That's crazy. Let me see. Hey, Chacha, yeah, like I know they don't just have this book in paperback. That is crazy. Who does that in 2024? Mm-mm. How you doing today, Chacha? Let me see. Y'all give me a second. I'm gonna wait for some people to get in here anyway. I feel like it's going to be so hot in Columbia, y'all. Look, I'm already sweating my edges out. Okay. Okay, now I have to reset my password. It seems like every time I'm trying to handle my business, it's some foolishness. That's okay. All right. All right, as y'all are coming in, remember to hit the like button. Now I know they have this on PDF. Ain't no way. Here we go. Y'all, somebody done came out with a word book. I know you lying. I know you lying, y'all. He only has this book in paperback. The guy who put the book together, y'all, that is crazy. See more buying options. That doesn't even make sense to do that. I guess I just assume that everybody else is up with the times. Yeah, I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off. Okay, now with that said, I have heard some of the books. Hey, skinny boy, I am so pissed. Okay, thank you. All right, guys, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out today. All right. With that said, guys, let's get into this quote of the day. Look, sometimes things happen that don't go as you planned. That's okay. We're still going to get into this tea regardless. Okay, so I have my quote of the day. Let me pull it up just to give y'all a little bit of morning encouragement. All right, so this is from Marianne Williamson, and if y'all don't know her, she is the author. Y'all remember on Coach Carter? We all watched Coach Carter and Aquila and the Bee. That our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, but rather that we are powerful beyond measure. She actually wrote a book called Return to Love. So that's her quote. It's really good, and she actually ran for president in the last two elections. Actually, she ran on the Democratic ticket this last election. She just did not get any airtime. All the major news networks would not allow her on. But she's a phenomenal woman. So nothing binds you except your thoughts. Nothing limits you except your fear. And nothing controls you except your beliefs. And honestly and truly, Those are words to live by, because there were so many times that I was the only one that was holding myself back, telling myself what I couldn't do, or telling myself about all the limitations that I would face, telling myself that it was going to be too difficult. And let me tell you, nothing in this world that is worth it is easy. Like, it's not going to come easy. It's going to require some effort on your part, but everything is very possible and everything is very doable. I mean, you got to think about it. At one point, nobody would have ever believed you if you said the humans would be flying on vehicles that move through the air. And yet somebody thought about it and they believed in it enough to think it was possible. And now we have a huge commercial airline industry. So once you put it in those type of terms and perspective, you will really know that anything is truly possible. A man said, I believe I can fly, and he did it. Okay. So with that said, we are going to get into the tea now. I have heard some of this book, y'all. I have heard some of this book. Now, to be clear, the book, it is called Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. I will put the link to it if any of y'all want to get it. It is on Amazon. It's $21, which is not bad. I'm trying to find it right now on PDF, though. It's a lot of allegations being made. So basically, there's this guy, his name is Jamal, and he said that Kim Porter gave out a drive to her friends and family just in case anything ever happened to her, as he has a copy of it. So he published this book. It's only been published for a few days. Now, so far, there has not been any legal action taken against the book. So we don't know if the words are true. We just know at this point there are no legal actions being taken. However, the book makes a lot of allegations. For example, the book alleges, and it's written, it's in Kim Porter's words, like her experience told from her perspective. But in the book, Kim says that she had a three-way experience with P. Diddy and Mary J. Blige. She also alleges that P. Diddy and Jay-Z was bumping uglies, was bumping schlongs. Okay, so I guess now, and again, this is all alleged. This is all alleged. I guess now it's hard to think of Jay-Z doing anything like that because he's a music mogul in his own right. What's the name of the book again? The book is called, hold on, I'm pulling up just how it is on Amazon. Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. I am trying to find it right now. And I should have did this yesterday, but I wanted to like read it all in front of y'all, if that makes sense. And it's by Jamal T. Oh, here, I think I found it. I think I found it. Oh, here we go. Guys, I found it. Oh, baby, this is going to be good. All right. Check out. Okay, yeah. Yep. Y'all. This gonna be good. This gonna be good. Complete purchase. Okay. All right, guys. So I got it. I got it. Okay. Hold on, Will. Okay, this dude wrote all this extra stuff. That's fine. No, y'all. This ain't even the book. Okay, hold on. I think this is a summary of the book. That's okay because I only paid $4 for it. I'm pissed. Y'all, I'm so pissed. Y'all, this is like just a. Anyway, basically, y'all, yeah, there are several books, but the one that is told from her perspective is called Kim's Lost Words: A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. So this is the one that has all the tea. This is the one with all the tea. So it says you can hold on. There's a sample of the book. Let me see. And I would get the book, y'all. It's just they only have it available in paperback, which is crazy. Like I hate it when people can't get with the times. That's not what we're doing. Okay, so here's the sample of the book on Amazon. So there's a disclaimer. It says one of Kim Porter's final wishes was for this memoir diary to be made public. Out of protection for certain parties and their potential criminal activity, some celebrities, performers, and events have been represented with X's due to their highly explosive nature. At some point in the future, this information will be revealed to the public. Regarding Kim's death and the mysterious illness of Albie Shore and Jamie Foxx, evidence does exist that points to foul play or poisoning. So, this is chapter 1. Soon after high school, I started landing modeling jobs. I couldn't believe it. Again, this is told from her perspective. It was all happening so fast. I met my husband, father of my oldest child, and one of my oldest friends in life, I'll be sure. It was a whirlwind romance. I was only 19 when we married, and no, it didn't work out. Al is still one of my best friends to this day. Our son Quincy is such a talented and wonderful young man. He's very handsome, I'll say that. At that time, I had no idea my relationship with Al was going to introduce me to the man that I would spend the better part of my adult life with, a man whom I would love and cherish, but eventually fear and hate. I'm sure you did, girl. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I will say, although I knew what was going on, I turned a blind eye many times. Here I have to tell this truth. Unfortunately, because deep down I knew everything that was happening, but I lied to myself a lot. He was so charming, a wolf in sheep's clothing, a devil, and I fell for it. This story must be told despite the fact it will hurt my children. I cannot hide it any longer. Sean Combs must be stopped. Okay, now, if she was writing something like that, and hold on, what's going on with my camera? Can y'all see me? Something's going on with my camera. I, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Can y'all see me? Y'all put in one in the one in the chat. There we go. Okay, sorry. Um, I bet she was, and I bet there was foul play. There was always story before this book even came out. Everybody said she was gonna write a tell-all book. She can tell all the tea, tell all the business. And even Don said that Diddy had threatened her life a couple times. So we know he's not above threatening to take you up out of here. So I bet she was fearful. So now we're in chapter 2, Humble Beginnings. I was born to loving parents, Jake Porter and Sarah L. Porter, in the Peach State of Georgia, all through Columbus High School, where I graduated in 1988. I knew I was going to be famous. In the 10th grade, one of my best friends, Tina, said to me, "You won't make it here in Georgia." I knew if I really wanted to be famous, I would have to leave my hometown and move in my home, Georgia. That conversation was so important as I look back now. It changed my life. I met Al while I was working in the industry. He was so dope and charming, and I had such a crush on him. We were married before I knew it, and Quincy was on the way. But I was young, and it just felt like it wasn't going to last. It was a little heated between us after we separated, but we got past that quickly, so that's not a reason why they broke up. Okay. I guess she just, I don't know, she just didn't want to be with him anymore. He is just a super dope guy and an amazing father. Though we separated, we are forever bonded through Quincy. Thank you, Al. I will always love you. Now, I'm reading this like, okay, well, why did y'all break up, girl? Because you probably should have stayed with him. But further along in the book, he does some weird stuff too. When I met Sean, he was cool. I didn't think much of him at the time. He was just another guy at the label. Uptown was huge, and we were all living our best life. But Sean continued to lay on the charm. And before I knew it, we were dating. Y'all, this is how all psychopaths work, guys. They will lay that charm on super thick. They will make it seem like they're a good person. Y'all remember how Diddy changed his name to Brother Love, and like they'll make it seem like, oh, I'm all about love and peace and spreading the world, spreading love around the world. But all of that is to cover up for the fact that these people are sexually deviant, and it's to disarm you, it's to get you loose, it's to get you ready for the plans that they have laid and prepared for you. So yes, the wolf in sheep's clothing is real, and honestly and truly, the most attractive and charming people are the ones who can pretty much have their way with a lot of people. Like if something comes to you and it doesn't look appealing to you, you're not going to be receptive of it. You're not going to even give it an opportunity. So it's always going to be the people and the men that you give an opportunity, or even the women, because I've heard about that Heather Hunter. So even the women who will come and lure you into these type of situations. Kim allegedly passed from pneumonia, and Albie Shore came down with the pneumonia too after he spoke out about Diddy. Interesting. And you know, now that y'all see, Albie Shore is demanding an investigation into her death. Now, and I guess I can understand why he waited until now, because everybody is waiting for an opportune moment. They didn't want to go up against Diddy when he seemed like he's too big to fail. But y'all got to understand about these people in power. They are people just like anybody else. And they bleed just like anybody else. Anybody can be taken down. You just have to be willing to sacrifice yourself. As a young single mom at one of the hottest companies in the world, life couldn't get any better. Then it did. My boyfriend was getting even bigger. So it looks like she got with P. Diddy before he blew up into the sensation that he was. He and Clive, now, I've heard some things about that Clive Davis. He and Clive would hang out a lot, but I didn't think anything of it. I meant, I mean, that was his boss, and he was doing things bigger than most men dare to even dream. Then it happened. I mean, okay, I was a little bit of a freak. I really enjoyed myself with my partner, and toys are one thing, but I never imagined having a man I was dating asking me to use a toy on him. Woo! Let me tell y'all something. I have met so many women and people, they get comfortable around me and they tell me about men asking them to use toys on them. You know, men asking them to peg them. I've met a couple of women who men in high positions of power have paid them to peg them. Um, and I've always noticed, or it'll be as simple as men asking for fingers and stuff like that in that area. And I've always noticed that those relationships with those type of men are always toxic. I've never had a woman tell me that her man asked her to do things like that or he's into things like that. And he wasn't a straight up like narcissistic biatch. Okay. Raya, did you see that quick Clive interview? He suddenly had Alzheimer's when asked about Diddy. I'm sure going to look for it during this live. I'm gonna write that down. I've heard some things about him. But yes, every time men are into that type of play, like that's some deep psychological, even just like as a woman, and I know there are women who are into it, right? But most of the time when women are get into that, they're introduced, you have one or two scenarios. Like they're either introduced to that because they get pressured by a male to do that, or they got into that because they were saving themselves for marriage. So they felt like backdoor action still meant that they were a virgin. But most 9 times out of 10, women don't just naturally come to that for no reason. So, like, even as a woman, most of us don't want to engage in that type of activity. And most of the time, when women do engage in that type of activity, it's a well, damn, here. Well, damn, like this dude keep pressuring me. And then yes, you will have your women who end up like liking it. But even then, when you think about it, it's so foul. Like it's so foul. And I know we have these sayings, don't yuck my yum, but I can't think of any action that is fouler than that. So yes, that is gonna come with you dealing with a man that has some psychological issues. The first time, he said he just wanted to experiment, try something new. I was grossed out, but he kept begging. He said it would only be this one time. Girl, that's just like a man saying, let me just put the tip in. And he was just curious. I was only 20 at the time. I said, what the hell? I hated it. He bled from it. Not he bleeding out the. And there was caca on it. That she say the other word. I left him alone after that. Y'all, he begged for this woman to pump him so bad that he was bleeding. Okay, this is the link. Thank you, skinny boy. So bad that he was bleeding. Yeah, I wouldn't have never talked to him after that. That is so gross. And like, he doesn't even give that off. So now we're in chapter 3, second chances. Sean kept reaching out and I kept ignoring his calls. Eventually, in a few weeks, we ran into each other at an event. He came over and sat next to me. We were cordial. He flattered me by saying, you look so amazing. Girl, you should have said, I know. I replied with the simple, thanks, Sean. I tried to get up to leave, but he pulled my arm. As I turned to him, he looked deep into my eyes and said, "Look, what happened between us was weird, but I really care about you. Can we?" He paused, and I tried to use this as my attempt to escape. I pulled my hand back and said, "Sorry, Sean, I have to go. Please, I think I'm falling in love with you. Can we talk?" Man, it's always gonna be that L word that's gonna get you, ladies. Always. It could be bright as day. The red flags could be right in front of your face. And all a man has to do is say he care about you and he love you, and boom, that door is back open. A man like this is incapable of love. He nasty. He's driven by his sexual desires. He's in survival mode. I don't care how much money he has. This type of man lives in the spiritual basement. Do y'all understand? He is at the bottom of the barrel. He cannot possibly love anybody. He nasty. Okay, he gonna say whatever he needs to say to try to get that feeling back again. And Kim didn't understand that's what it was. He already opened that door with her. She already used toys on him. She already, got it. She already put that work in him so much to the point where he was bleeding. Baby, he wanted that feeling back. He didn't want to go try to find somebody new and convince them to do it to him and try to keep his secret. No, he wanted somebody that was going to give him that backdoor action continually that he could trust. Diddy keeps his back door unlocked. Come on now. I know that thing boosts. Like, I would hate for him to go to the nursing home. Like, I would hate to be the CNA at a nursing home handling Diddy. Okay, because it ain't even, and again, this is nothing against anybody in the LGBTQ community. It's the fact that, like, come on now, he's it's not like he just has one partner that he engages with this in. Like, he's been ran through. Y'all talk about these women ran through, like he has whole parties where he done probably got ran through. Okay, that thing loose booty Diddy. My breath was taken away, all from the man saying he think he falling in love. Did he say he loved me? It was so fast. I wasn't aware of this as his manipulation tactic. Not yet. God, I was so young, so naive. So she's young. We don't give her a pass. We all believe that lie at one point. He continued, "Let's just have dinner." And I fell for it. 2 days later, we went out for drinks at a lounge in Lower Manhattan. The place was nice. Sean was really coming up and pulling out all the stops to impress me. He pulled the chair out for me to sit. Back then, he was always a gentleman. He smiled and said, "Look," as he sat across from me. I hated it. I hated it. And I never want to do it again. Give me another chance. Okay, now we 1,000 bottles of baby oil later. He must not have hated it that much. Over coffee the next morning, I decided to give him another chance. Girl, just for him asking me that. No, I don't have a dog. In Colombia, everybody has dogs and they're loud. So my neighbors are always walking their dogs. Guys, I don't I can't think of a man that I have loved enough ever in life to where if he asked, first of all, if you ask me to pump you in the back with a toy, the relationship over. I can't even see you the same anymore. We can go shopping. Your sis at this point. Because honestly and truly, I don't even think my homegirls engage in that. But you can be sis. We can go shopping. And then for him to sit up talking about he hated it, he didn't enjoy it. You enjoyed it enough to where you let this woman do it to the point where you was bleeding. This too much. For the next year and a half, things seemed pretty normal. It was fun. Things were going great, and we were living the dream that I dreamt about throughout my youth. Sean and Clive were working on Bad Boy, and he had his first couple of artists. Pause. So, y'all know how a lot of the times they try to get us, they try to reel us into supporting men like like Diddy by saying, "Oh, this is black owned, black community." But what y'all don't understand is a lot of the industry again is smoke and mirrors. A lot of these men don't start the companies that they have without the backing of white men. That's even just like in Dallas. There were a lot of clubs that appeared to be like when we talk about uh strip clubs. A lot of strip clubs in Dallas, on the face of it, they looked like they were black owned because you go in there, the manager is black, the staff is black. You have a lot of managers claiming to be the owner, lying. The girls are black, right? So these look like black owned clubs, but the vast majority of them were owned by one white man. Y'all understand? There were absolutely no black owned clubs in Dallas, strip clubs in Dallas, and even the ones that appear to be, when you look at the paperwork or whose name is actually on the ownership of the buildings and the clubs, they always were backed by white men. So a lot of this is smoke and mirrors. So when people are like, "Oh, y'all taking down black people, y'all taking down a black owned," and it's like, bro, this half of this stuff ain't even black owned. I agree with you, Mariah. We call those type of men backdorians. Yeah, like weirdos. And yes, that's a yum I'm gonna yuck every time. Um, he picked up Craig Mack, then some rapper from the West Coast called Notorious B.I. I think they forgot to put B.I.G. to help Chris develop. Okay. He was collaborating with the biggest names in hip hop to make it happen. Things could not be more amazing. Then he asked me to do it again. It was insane. So he asked for some more backdoor action. Sean said, "Baby, I can't stop thinking about it." Boy, what the hell are you talking about? I responded. Sean continued, "I just can't stop thinking about that night. It was amazing. Can you screw me one more time, please? One more chance, baby. Give me one more chance." Y'all, he begging to get it took, baby. Begging to get bent over. I became infuriated. Why don't you go to Clyde? He is the one screwing you, isn't he? Then Sean hit me. Okay, hold on now. Is that T? Is that T? This was the first time, but he slapped me hard. Before I could form words, he began to beg. I'm sorry, holding my cheek where he hit me. I turned and ran off. That should have been it. But I guess I am a glutton for punishment. Ladies, leave the first time a man lays hands on you. First time. If a man yell at me too loud, I feel like he getting ready to beat my if a man call me out my name, like, and there are relationships, like, don't think that's normal. Like, I have been in a couple of relationships where I've never been hit and never been called out my name, and the man never yelled at me. Okay, so once you're able to quickly spot whether a man is abusive, and there are signs before it even gets there, you won't even be in those type of situations. But you got to go through the game to get the game. The first sign should have been that he was a booty bandit. Now, if a man don't care about his own back door enough to not want to feel pain, what make you think that he don't care about laying hands and feet on you? He views pain differently than you. Diddy had co-ownership of a company with 3 or 4 other people. They all mysteriously were unalived. I can't remember the name of the company. Look it up. I'm going to write that down to look up when I get done reading through these chapters. Biggie was ghostwriting for Junior Mafia to keep the royalties. He passed soon after Diddy found out. That's what I heard. I did hear he was ghostwriting for Junior Mafia. He sent flowers and a bunch of expensive gifts. Then we bumped into each other at another industry event. He sat down next to me. This was deja vu. Sean started, imagine running into you here. Get the F away from me, I forced out. He became more serious as he said, look, baby, I'm sorry. But I just glared at him. There is nothing you can ever say to me. Nothing. After an awkward silence, he finished, you know I love you and y'all. This love, this love word gonna get y'all every time. I love your son. He's my son. I don't know how to fix this, but I'll do anything. I'm sorry. Now he bringing in the kids. This one thing I will say to all single mothers. Don't be that single mom who is out here looking for a stepdaddy, looking for somebody to love your kid. You want somebody that's going to be kind to your kid. But as far as, if you're a single parent, especially if you're a single parent and the dad is not actively involved, you're just going to have to live with the reality that you are both parents and you don't need anybody to come in and step in and be talking about using your kid to get to you. Now of course you want somebody to be kind. If they can come in and be a positive role model to your child, of course be open to that. But at the same time, don't let that get in your heart and in your head. Hey Nicole, good morning. For those of y'all who are just tuning in, I am reading some excerpts from the Kim Porter book. This is a book on Amazon. It's called Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. The man who wrote this book, Jamal T. Millwood, is claiming that he received a flash drive with the information. And Kim also gave several other people this same flash drive saying, if anything ever happened to me, here's the information. I want my story to be told. So far, there has been no legal action taken against the book. The book was put out a couple days ago, so there have been no cease and desist. Again, all of this is alleged, but we're reading through it. Love bombing is a major red flag. It expedites the vetting process. Yes, like it's to get you off your guard. If a man can make you feel like, especially if you're somebody who is craving love or you've had bad relationships or you didn't receive the love that you needed as a child, a lot of the times we're looking for love to save us. We're looking for somebody that's going to come into our lives and make us happy if we're not unhappy. Make us feel fulfilled. And then on top of that, it doesn't help that you get on the internet and people are constantly like pushing relationships. People will push their relationship. I've seen so many people advertising their relationships and making it seem like they have the perfect relationships, but it's trash behind closed doors. It's absolute trash, right? But if you're comparing yourself to these people, and then on top of that, you're not happy with how you're living your life or you're not happy with your outcomes, you're going to feel like, when somebody comes and they're love bombing you, you're going to feel like, dang, finally, somebody coming to save me. Somebody coming to save me from my misery, from my loneliness. But honestly and truly, there's value in loneliness. I'm not saying that loneliness should be the goal. I'm saying like you should accept where you are, wherever you're at in life, and find fulfillment in that. And that will help you be able to slow down when a ditty comes your way. You can be so fulfilled and at peace with what you're already currently doing that you're like, bro, I'm not in a rush to try to add this to my situation, right? I can slow down, I can take my time, and I can have the strength to move around when I see these red flags beginning to accumulate. Because at the end of the day, this person ain't, I'm not lacking anything anyway. Women are naturally nurturers, which is a double-edged sword. Men know how to take advantage of this trait. And you know what? It's crazy because I learned how to, as a woman, you have to be able to put up a wall. I look at nurturing as a trait that I can turn off and on, and not everybody deserves to be nurtured. Y'all understand? Not everything deserves to grow. Not all seeds that are planted deserve to flourish. So, as a woman, you have to be ready and willing to use your discernment to see, oh, baby, if I nurture this plant, it's an invasive species and it's going to kill everything else around me. So, you got to think about it in terms like that. Like, as a woman, especially if you're a woman with kids, your primary job is to nurture your kids. How can you properly nurture your kids when you're bringing somebody around you that has a plethora of problems and you have to refocus your energy on them? And not just that, that person could be a detriment to your kids. So you have to pick and choose as a woman what you're going to nurture and what you're going to protect. And you can't nurture and protect somebody who is a detriment to society. Hit the like button as you come in. Yes, y'all remember to hit the like button. Hey, Olivia, good to see you, sis. Yes, okay, we in here. So, guys, for those of y'all who don't know, we are reading a portion of Kim's Lost Words. So, let me continue. So far, for those of y'all who were just pulling up, Kim Porter got with Albie Shore, had Quincy, left him, met Diddy while Diddy was on his come up before he was a big thing. When he got intertwined with Clive and started Bad Boy. So far into this relationship, Diddy has asked Kim Porter to pump him in the back door using a toy. She didn't like it, broke up with him. He came back saying it was never going to happen again. But now he's asking her to do it again. He asked her to do it again. She called him out for allegedly having this relationship with Clive Davis. So by this time, him and Clive Davis are supposed to be bumping bussies. He hit her. She left. Now he's trying to get her back. Let's continue. So he says, you know, I love you. I love your son. He's my son. I don't know how to fix this, but I'll do anything. I'm sorry. Shit, he can be so sweet. Here we go with the love thing. This time, it's not falling in. He was great with Quincy, and to be honest, despite everything, I missed him. As he stood to walk away, I remember hearing myself saying, "Call me later." What the F was wrong with me? Girl, yes, what the F is wrong with you? Because as a mother, and this is how y'all have to think when you, especially when you have a young boy and you got this man who's coming back to you, you already know he messes with other men. He's already asking you to pump him in the behind again. Like, I'm not saying that all people that are a part of the LGBTQ, I'm not trying to paint them out as people that like kids, but honestly and truly, I don't know if I would be willing to take that risk with that kind of man being around my son. And then on top of that, you already keep a lot of secrets. Like, it's different if a man is out in the open with it and you're not secret, but it's like it's given secret, it's given deviant, it's given weird. Okay, let's continue. This is too much. So we're in chapter 4, forgiveness. Sean arrived with flowers in hand. He wanted to see Quincy using her son. He was so good with him. Okay, girl, he has a dad, and this is the crazy thing. And she said that her and Albie Shore have a good relationship. Quincy has a dad. So I'm not understanding this. Oh, he's so good with my son. The son has a father. And Quincy ran over to hug him. I felt my heart melting. He asked Quincy, "How you doing, Tiger?" Quincy looked so innocent as he responded, "I'm good. I miss you." Sean's response sounded genuine. "I miss you too. We'll hang out tomorrow, okay?" "Okay." Sean gave him a little love tap on the butt. Uh-uh. That would have sent me, y'all. Don't you tap my son on the butt knowing you like to get yours pumped, okay? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Woo! And then do y'all see the manipulation? So he's coming over there with flowers. She hasn't even decided that she is going to take him back yet. And you're already promising to hang out with the son tomorrow. Sir, we haven't even talked and decided what we're going to be. So why are you promising my son who misses you that y'all are going to see each other tomorrow when we haven't agreed upon that? So now it's kind of like you're trying to back me into a corner. Thank you so much, skinny boy. I don't like this. I think Diddy groomed Quincy. It's very possible, and Quincy is a handsome, very handsome young boy. But I've seen the way he's been kind of like dressing and looking lately, and it's giving. Do y'all know Evan Ross? Do y'all know Tracy Ellis Ross's son? And how? And he's married, but it's giving kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Effeminate. I'm not saying men have to walk around here looking hard, acting macho, but it's weird. How do you handle dating knowing you have a daughter? What precautions do you take? To be honest, I really don't date that much. And then when I do date, I don't really, like, they don't really come to my house. Like, so I'll go out on a date and I'll get like a female babysitter, but they don't really come to my house. I had one relationship that I was in, and here's another thing too. I really don't like to date people that live in my same city. So if we do get together, then it's always planned, and I always have a babysitter, or my daughter would, go with my mom or something like that. But I did have one relationship where me and the dude lived together with my daughter. Well, and I mean, honestly and truly, I didn't have any problems with that situation. Like, my daughter was with me and his mom. Like, so his mom lived there, so like she would watch my daughter. But this was when I was younger. I'll say my daughter was like 2 years old at the time. So between the ages of 1 and 3, I was with this dude. Now that I'm older, I don't even think that I would want to live in the same house with a man and my daughter, especially since my daughter is getting older. I don't know if I would be comfortable with that, to be honest. So how do I handle it? Well, by most people's standards, I'm not handling it well or realistically. And that's the thing. A lot of people, they're not willing to kind of like put aside their dating wants and needs for the sake of their kids. I don't mind. I'm really not in a rush to have somebody in the same space as me. With my kid, and I honestly don't want to bring somebody around my kid because a lot of these people are just weird. It's bedtime, Quincy replied. Okay, good night, as he turned to head towards his bedroom. Here was the man I fell in love with. But what was I thinking? Ish, not only does he want butt plugs, he slapped the ish out of me. So why am I still talking to him? They say that love is blind, but is it stupid too? As Quincy left, Sean looked at me and smiled. Baby, let's go have some fun. The babysitter is on the way. I just want to show you a good time. I was so mad at myself for melting as I said, okay. We sat on the couch laughing and genuinely having a good time when the doorbell rang. The babysitter had arrived, and so we left. As we exited the house, a big man climbed out of the limo and opened the door for us. He wore a sharp suit with a pew pew noticeably tucked under his arm. I thought to myself, he could have made it invisible, or did he want me to see it? Probably did, girl. Despite my reservations, Gene was a sweetheart. He was very courteous and polite. As he tipped his head out and said, Good evening, ma'am, Jean drew a smile out of me, and I responded, hello. Jean and I would see each other a lot after this day. Hold on, girl. Well, that sounds like something was going on between you and Jean. Chapter 5, Sean Niels. The year passed, and thankfully, we didn't have many bad arguments. Although Sean was strangely getting into voodoo, but okay. Now, it's been said that during these freak offs, he would be positioning candles in certain places and the lighting had to be just right. It's been said that he was using Smeg's magic during these freak offs. And a lot of people who are in higher positions of power are into the occult. My ex has a son. The last two times we linked up, I made sure to build a connection with him. She trusted me around him because I showed genuine leadership qualities. Yeah, and I'm definitely not saying that you can't like, for example, I'm pretty sure Russell Wilson's relationship with Little Future is genuine, right? So there are some men who are good step parents or good role models for your kids. You just kind of have to vet, like, you have to see how are they performing in other areas. You understand? Like, as a woman, it's going to be a big deal to me that a man is sexually deviant if I'm going to bring them around my kids. Like, that kind of stuff matters, because then I'm going to be wondering, how are you looking at my kids? So you kind of have to, like, view a man in other areas of his life. Don't just say, oh, he's really good with my kids, but then he effed up in all these other ways and think he's a safe person to bring around your kids, you know? Okay, I'm going to definitely watch that after the live. Voodoo isn't inherently bad. It's just a tool like a gun. You either use it for good or bad. Well, I do believe that. I do believe that. I think when we're talking about in terms of character, Diddy is already showing that that's not something. I don't see him using it in the right way. I'm going to say this. Like, if you have somebody who already wants money, fame, power, and then on top of that, they're sexually deviant, like P. Diddy is, I don't see that type of person using voodoo for good reasons, right? It's always going to be a means to their own ends. He would put curses on people. Oh, there we go. So she's saying he's using it to put voodoo to put curses on people. And I wasn't sure how to respond to that craziness. My problem as a single mother was I wanted to be married. Oh, I'm glad she said that. Yes, that is a problem, guys. I'm not saying it's wrong to get married. I'm not saying, like, as a woman, if a man who is a good man to you offers to get married to you, that you should not. If he's good, if he's proven himself. But, like, I genuinely do believe, especially as women get older, we should not desire marriage, right? Because it can make you blind, it can make you desperate, right? You should be fine with, if I don't get married, that is okay. And if I'm going to get married, if I'm going to give up the life that I built for myself and include another person in it, then the evidence to suggest that this person would be a good addition needs to be so profound that it knocks down all of my reservations. That's how guarded women should be about marriage. But instead, a lot of women are being taught to be desperate for marriage and getting themselves into situations with men who are like P. Diddy, because P. Diddy is not the only one. P. Diddy was who he was before he got that money. Do y'all see? She got with him. He started asking for all of this deviant stuff before Bad Boy was even Bad Boy, before he even had the money at the level that he would come to have it. So it's like the money just made him more of what he already was. So there's a lot of broke P. Diddy's walking around, or there's a lot of middle income P. Diddy's walking around. There's a lot of upper middle income P. Diddy's walking around. Do y'all understand? The only difference between them and P. Diddy is that P. Diddy has the money to do, or had the money to do what he wanted to at the level at which he did it to for so long, right? But a lot of these men, if they had P. Diddy's money, power, and leverage, will be doing the exact same thing. And that's why you cannot be desperate for marriage, right? You got to see, is this man disciplined enough, measured enough, and are the contents of his character good enough for me to marry this man? He always had excuses and delays when it came to committing to marriage. Now, me personally, now you done begged me to get back with you. You done smack me up. And then on top of that, I know you like to get that bussy bust up from the back. I wish I would be begging a man like that for marriage, sitting around waiting, and you talking about, sir. I mean, I wouldn't even want to marry him. But if you do, like, sir, you are in no position to have me sitting around waiting for anything. Um, his label was blowing up. Biggie dropped, and it was just about over. He also signed Mary J. Blige. And of course, when I found out he slept with her, we fought. So in this book, it's alleging that Mary J. Blige and Diddy slept together. Now, notice how Mary has been quiet. We ain't really heard from sis. She ain't really said nothing. She ain't said nothing. How old was Kim when she hooked up with Diddy? Let me go back. Let me go back into the book. Let me see. She doesn't exactly. Okay. Let me look this up. So she graduated high school in 1988. She'd probably be around 18 years old. Looks like she got with Quincy and had the baby short after she graduated. Shortly after she graduated. Um, she doesn't say exactly when she got with him, but I'm gonna put it between, based on what the chapter 2 was saying, I'm going to put that between somewhere between the ages of 19 and 23. Let me see if I can find any other information. So it's saying from 1994, okay? So they started on Wikipedia. It says they got together in 1994. So yeah, that would be about 24 years old. Okay, let's continue. Mary J. Blige allegedly slept with an underage death row artist named Danny Boy. She never denied the allegations. I wouldn't put it past them. Like, I'm starting to realize, like, if y'all go back and think about, even like me, I was born in 93. But if I really just sit back and think about the early 2000s, like, it wasn't frowned upon for older women to mess with younger, like, guys as much. Even like older dudes messing with underage girls wasn't really something that, at least in the community I grew up in, wasn't something that seemed like a big deal at the time. Times have definitely changed. And then y'all got to understand, like, with social media came all this people talking and exposing. Like, imagine the things that went on before social media. Well, we don't have to imagine, baby. It's in this book. But a lot of foolishness. All right, let's continue. Let me go back and find my spot. Okay. So his label was blowing up. Biggie dropped and it was just about over. He also signed Mary J. Blige. And of course, when I found out he slept with her, we fought. He claimed it was a mistake. Girl, okay. How many times you gonna believe this it was a mistake? And my stupid A took him back. Again, at this point, it's not stupid. It's willful ignorance. It's the money. It's the lifestyle. It's not stupidity. At this point, it's a willing choice. Um, Sean asked me for a three-way with her. At first, I was mad, but Mary was beautiful. It was our first three-way and I loved it. Mary was sexy. I would not be doing this a lot, but it was so hot. I was young and exploring my sexuality. So, in this book, allegedly, Kim Porter, Diddy, and Mary J. Blige had a three-way. When I was a young teen, I had friends who were with young girls. Nobody questioned it, but I knew at an early age that it was weird. Yeah, it was very common back then. I sat down. Okay, I'm sorry. Over the years, we brought other women into our bedroom periodically, and we were happy. This is until one day I came home to a situation that went from awkward to a nightmare. Quincy was with the babysitter, and Sean was sitting with Al B. Shore at the dinner table. This is where it get weird. I had a child with Al, and Sean was the father in Quincy's life. I'm not understanding this when she says that because, like, at the beginning of the book, she's saying he's an amazing person. We're really good friends. But Albie Shore is the actual dad, and now she's saying Sean is the father in Quincy's life. Well, what was Albie Shore doing? I guess that's why he and Quincy aren't close to this day. The awkwardness of us all being together had dissolved a long time ago, but it was still weird that they were here in my home together alone. I sat down and we had drinks. It was fun. The conversation was cool until it wasn't. Al was a little loose after a couple of drinks. I remember him saying, "It's still weird seeing you with my friend, but you're happy, so I'm happy for you guys." Sean responded, "Thanks, man. Me and you, we've shared so much." So, okay, were Al and P. Diddy friends before? I didn't catch that when she was initially introducing him. So I guess Al knew Diddy before Kim got with Diddy. Okay. Al responded coolly, "Word." The conversation took an odd and awkward turn when Sean said, "We all been together sexually, but not together." I was shocked for a moment. As quietness lingered in the room, I asked, "What do you mean by all together?" Al shifted uncomfortably, but Sean didn't hesitate. "You know how we sometimes invite other people into our bed?" I couldn't believe it. "Oh, hell no, Sean. This is my son's father. Al, say something." And what Al said was mind boggling. "I don't know. It could be kind of hot. I miss you in that way." Ah, not Al considering. And I feel like there might have been, because she said she walked in on them at the table alone together. Diddy might have offered him a little bit of money. He might have been in some financial trouble. And Diddy was like, "Okay, well, if you do X, Y, and Z, with me and Kim, then I'll give you the funds that you're asking for. You would be surprised. I have talked to so many men who, like, if you ask, okay, if somebody offered you $1 million or $500,000, would you do something with a man? And I promise you, the vast majority of men are gonna say yeah. And then they're gonna say, well, it's life changing money. It's like, yeah, if it's just a one time thing, that don't make. I promise you, I've heard way more men than not answer questions like that and say, like, yeah, I would do it. And even me as a woman, I'm a woman and I'm being for real, no cap. I've been offered money to do those kind of things, like to lay down with a man that I don't want to lay down with. So I'm saying this as a woman who is coming from a place of being offered. As a woman, Diddy couldn't have paid me to sleep with him. So when I hear men saying that, I don't really feel like, I'm like, that's not a good enough excuse to lay down with a man. I'm sorry. I don't care how much that money changed your life. You still got to walk away. You still have to walk around and look at yourself at the end of the day. Now, if it's a situation where you already like men to begin with, then it's nothing. Like, okay, yeah, I guess for some money. But if you are a man who a principal and you are a man who like really is straight and really likes women, I don't see a reason. I don't see any amount of money that can be thrown at you to make you lay down with another man. I'm sorry. That makes me feel like, okay, you were already kind of thinking about it. Although I couldn't believe Sean would do this, the truth was I still cared about Al, and this could be very hot. I just didn't want it messing up my relationship. And if things became awkward, how would it affect Quincy? So I asked, are you both sure? I imagined both of them inside of me. I knew this would be awkwardly smexy. There would be some bumping of genitals, but what happened next, I couldn't have imagined in my wildest dreams. Al, y'all, the reading the book says XX, like it's all X'd out. So I don't know what he did. I couldn't believe it. I stood there in shock. But when Sean, this is all X'd out, I ran out of the room. This was too much. I couldn't. Sean called out to me, oh, come on, Kimmy. They didn't chase after me. They blank. So what it looks like, it's X'd out. So it's like X, 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 X. So I don't know what is being said, but it looked like they might have did some things together. That's what it's looking like. I couldn't get the image out of my mind. I couldn't be with Sean for a while, but that wouldn't be the last time I saw Sean in a compromising position, not by a long shot. One day, I found the vault where he kept all of his encounters with men. Yes, he kept a record of it, but that's for later. Woo, baby, this is tea. This is tea. This is tea, baby. This is tea. I was born broke. I'll die broke before I sleep with a man. Yes, like if you used to struggle, that should be nothing. You should be like, oh baby, that's fine. I did this before. I can go back before I do that, you know? So I really don't be trying to hear all of them excuses, to be honest. All right. So chapter 6, Pac. Biggie took over East Coast hip hop, and Sean was the brilliant mind that orchestrated it. He hired people to teach Chris how to flow and write his lyrics. He hired the best producers to do the beats, although he took credit for them. Always trying to take credit. And the music was unstoppable. At this point, Sean was sleeping with all the power players, and everyone that wanted to do music wanted to be a bad boy. Sean wheeled and dealed in a way that would have been unthinkable to many. He slept with the guys that really controlled the music to stay on top. Okay, so it has been alleged that that P. Diddy has sugar daddies that are higher ups, that his money is all smoke and mirrors. Before this book has come out, there have been allegations on it. I love Tisa Tells. She had been saying this, that Diddy was sleeping with Clive, and even people that we don't even know their names, right? The people that really control the music, because again, the music industry is gate kept by people like P. Diddy, but they take orders. So when y'all are like, well, why is only certain type of music or certain images being promoted of black men and black women? That's because the higher ups won't let anything but these images be pushed and promoted. And then on top of that, people are just naturally attracted to negativity depending on where they are in their lives. Okay. So what she's saying is, P. Diddy was sleeping with all those higher ups, and that's where he gets a lot of his money from. Same thing like I was telling y'all about how in the Dallas strip clubs, it's like the black owned clubs, like no, the black managers and owners, they're a front. On paper, the white men own those clubs. This is a perfect time to play the Clive Davis links I dropped in the chat. Let me see. Let me click on it. I think this is it. Hold on. Now, hold on. I'm trying to click on it. Let me go to YouTube. Because I'm on StreamYard. I'm not in YouTube. Let me see. View on YouTube. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, let me see. Let me find them. So, pause. I'm going to share my screen right now, guys.
It's about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
Like puppy. The status of puppy.
What do you make of that situation?
Now, he ain't saying nothing.
No comment from Clive Davis. A lot of people are curious about the status of P.
Okay, and I know he didn't say anything. Let me pull up the next one.
Like you're ready to say nothing.
Any comment, Mr. Davis?
Now y'all see how he had to be careful when he was sitting down in that car, baby. That's because he been getting that bussy bust. Okay. He been getting that thing bust all the way down to the white meat. Okay, so let's get back to the book. So it says he slept with the guys that really controlled the music to stay on top. A lot of the names average people have never heard of. These are the guys that make the decisions on who is winning. See, I hadn't read that part. So yeah, that's in alignment with what I'm saying. And who is not. He hosted parties that were just as fancy names for orgies, and everyone wanted in. When I met Tupac, Sean and I had an open relationship. And yes, I slept with Pac. Okay. So this book is alleging Kim Porter slept with Pac. Ish, he was sexy. Sean didn't mind. Well, not until he tried to get Pac to join both of us. Pac was not good with that. Okay. So basically, Diddy wanted to sleep with Tupac. Tupac was like, nah, I want to hit your chick, been hitting your chick. We ain't doing nothing. Okay. RNS. Okay, so far, he's the only real one in this book. This is where the relationship between them became strained. Tupac wasn't going to accept Sean's advances. Pac wasn't gay, and he was pissed about the advances. We were all in Sean's house. I was drinking, they were smoking, and everyone was just relaxing. Sean came in on what I am sure he would call a smooth approach. My baby is bad, isn't she? Pac threw me a sly smile. Hell yeah. I felt myself blush. Sean was now in full swing. You think you hit it better than me? I couldn't believe he disrespected me that way. Girl, why you couldn't believe it? He been disrespecting you. He disrespected you when he asked you to use that toy in his back door. So, like that, we passed that bridge. Okay, the disrespect is full on at this point. I was not playing with my response. Sean, what the F? Pop came to my defense. Damn, bro, you ain't got to do the sister that way. Tupac appeared upset behind Sean's words, but Sean went in for the kill regardless. I think my D's bigger than yours. I bet I can make her climax faster than you. What's up? Pac was appalled. What the F are you talking about, my ninja? I ain't trying to run no effing train. Sean continued. What you scared of? Sorry, what you scared of? Let's see who bangs better. Let her be the judge. Yes, at this point, we had been inviting others into our bed for a while, but I am not used to and will not stand for disrespect. I wasn't the only one upset. Pac shouted, Ninja, you talking about pulling your effing D out? Sean was undaunted. What you scared of? Tupac simply left. And this kind of stuff starts like this type of activity starts in those locker rooms. When these boys are comparing their stuff, y'all be thinking it's about women. Nah, like they really just be wanting to see what another man is working with. And that's why I say men need to, like, from a young age, nip all that in the bud. Things were contentious since then. I'm sorry. I missed my place. Here we go. Things were contentious since then. The two could not be in the same room. Pac avoided me as much as he did Sean. When they did bump into each other, the tension was palpable. It felt like blows could be thrown at any moment. So basically, allegedly, Diddy had Pac killed all because Diddy wouldn't sleep with him. I mean, Pac wouldn't sleep with him. Is what it sounded like to me. Y'all know how like a man will shoot his shot and you turn him down, and now all of a sudden you all kind of bees, you all kind of hoes. Like it's weird energy every time they see you. This is all because Tupac didn't want to sleep with Diddy. Crazy. This crazy. Months passed with only the tension between them. It was uncomfortable, but nothing life or death. Then one day, while we were at the studio, it happened. I walked into Sean's office and he was having the conversation. Sean sat across from Jimmy Henchman. Pop don't leave that effing studio alive. I don't think I was supposed to hear it. I continued as if I didn't. Hey, Sean. Good morning, Jimmy. They didn't seem to think I heard anything. I'm ordering breakfast. Smiling Sean replied first. Let me get eggs sunny side up with grits and an orange juice. I could see he was hungover. Good. I don't want him knowing I know anything. If he just put a hit on. Okay, so that's it. That's it. That's all I got for y'all today. Let me see if I can get a copy of the rest of it. But this is crazy. So, all within the first few chapters of the book, we see that P. Diddy asked Kim Porter to peg him. She did. Okay. Tried to leave him. Got her back. We see that he continues to ask to get pegged. It's been insinuated that he was sleeping with Clive Davis. She says he's sleeping with all the higher ups in the music industry, the executives. Also, he slept with Mary J. Blige allegedly, and allegedly Kim Porter, Diddy, and Mary J. Blige had a threesome, and it is also being alleged that Kim Porter's baby daddy, Albie Shore, also had a sexual relationship or did something sexual with P. Diddy. So this is a lot. And then on top of that, we have the beginnings of what looks like is going to be the hit on Pac being put out there. So this is a lot. It's a lot. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we're going to come back tomorrow. Hopefully I can get the rest of the book tomorrow. If not, we will still be discussing. If I can get any other information from other sources, we will come back and discuss the life of P. Diddy as told from the perspective of Kim Porter. With that said, thank y'all to everybody that tuned in. I will be on time tomorrow, 7 a.m. Come back and we are going to have some dope discussions. We're going to talk about this tea. And with that said, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day.